Wow. So welcome everybody. I'm Reverend Beverley Strutt, and I am the senior minister or the spiritual director here, and I am not going to cry. I am not going to cry. Yes. 2 years ago, on the first Sunday in January, I stood up here as the first time as a spiritual director. And they always say that it takes between 3 to 5 years for a new minister to integrate into the community. But as I know with you guys, you are way above the curve. So we are here, and I am just overwhelmed with gratitude as we step into this third year together. I look back over 23. I look back over the challenges that we came through. It was not an easy year for many of us emotionally. There was a tremendous amount of loss, including our Maui brothers and sisters. And it was just an interesting walk in general. And we thrived. We thrived together. And as I sit here in contemplation for what has moved through last year, I am amazed. I am amazed by each and every one of you, because it is you that has created this. It's you that is the community. It's you that makes this all happen and all worthwhile. And it's because of you that I get to show up every single day, inspired to do this work and to do it well because of you guys. So when I say you are magnificent, I truly mean it from my heart. You are magnificent. So can we say that for the beginning of this year? You are magnificent. Let's say the I. I am magnificent. One more time. Let's say it. I am magnificent. And of course, for spirit, we say it the third time aloud. I am magnificent. And as a community, we are magnificent. Yeah, there's a lot that's going to be coming forward over the next 6 weeks before we head into our annual meeting of the year, which I will invite you all to, because there's stuff that I cannot share on a Sunday morning from the pulpit, because it's business, and the business of church is important too. So come to that when we get to it, because we'll show you what we have done together. And now, and the bat signal that we have in the sky, and all the people that come from the mainland that are attracted to come in here because of you. So I want to thank you for that. Do you know what the theme is for this new year? Yeah. Anybody guess? Let's hear it again. Rise up. Exactly. I was trying to be subtle, but I didn't, that's not my strength. So, but before we go into Rise Up, of course, this joke came across the table, and I cannot not share it. So, and it was also about rising up, which is great. So an elderly Amish couple with their granddaughter was visiting a department store for the first time. They are understandably a bit overwhelmed with all of the trappings and gadgets of the store. And at one point, the grandmother is standing in front of an elevator. An elevator. Puzzled, what contraption might this be? She watches as an older man, walking stooped over with a cane, shuffles onto the elevator. The doors close, and when they open again, a much younger, stronger, physically fit man emerges. The couple's granddaughter walks up, sees the elevator, and asks, "What is that, Grandma?" She goes, "I don't know, but get your grandfather here as fast as possible." So we rise up into a different idea of where we are and what are we doing. Yeah, wouldn't it be great to have one of those elevators? Step in, step out. But we do that to ourselves every single day. as Joan says, we rise beyond who we are and what we are and where we are. So when we took a trip back in 2022, the global themes for Centers for Spiritual Living was Live Everyday Wonder. And so we dug into that place of going inward to see where we live, wonder in everyday experiences. Basically what we would call the mundane. Where do we live everyday wonder in all of those little things that we do? And we just walked that way. As I say, we went a little bit more inward. We looked at where it was, what could we change, how could we change it? And then in 23, we came around to living out loud. Living out loud, so that we could take this and make it even more of our experience. Not holding back, not playing small. Let's get out there. Let's do this. Let's live out loud. And we found all the ways that we could take the internal and bring it forward, living inwardly, outwardly, in a much greater manner than what we had before. Living out loud. It was a wonderful year for that. Even in the midst of all that with challenges, I think that we had that theme going was a great paradox, or a paradox, to what it was that we had been asked to do. So we had the theme and we were feeling all the challenges. So with the two together, we worked with it, which leads us into this year. Rise up. You know, Reverend Libby last week did a magnificent talk on the letting go of what no longer serves us. Letting go of the things that we don't care about ourselves, the things we don't like, just letting go of those things. And she brought forward this beautiful ideas about the beliefs, the behaviors, and the burdens. And of course, when we all saw that ball of fire go up from the vase, from the bowl, it was absolutely brilliant, because it showed us that it only takes a moment. It really only takes a moment. Once we've made that decision of what it is and we've done the work towards it, it only takes a moment. It takes a new thought. It takes a new idea. Change your thinking, change your life. Thank you, Joan. By the way, that's the name of the first class coming up this year. And if you've already done it, do it again, because it's always different, because you're different. So change your thinking, change your life. Have a new idea. Let go of your old belief. Let go of that old behavior. Let go of that old burden, so that you can rise up beyond it. Take what you know, toss what you don't like, and keep moving that beautiful spiral upwards. So from Dr. Ernest Holmes, he says, since we all can conceive of a greater good than we have so far experienced, we all have the ability to transcend previous experiences and rise above. We all have that ability. It's already all within us. It's absolutely all there. And for me, when I was thinking about all of this, I couldn't get away from the hot air balloon. Anybody taken hot air balloon rides? Anybody experienced that? Yes. I personally, no, not yet. Not yet. It's one of those things where I'm like, I want it, and I don't think I'm not sure about it yet, and all of the rest that goes inside of that. But we look at the hot air balloon, and, you know, we have seen in the past, whether it's been in movies or whether, you know, back in the day when they first were coming out, even at a fair, they'd have a hot air balloon tethered. So people could get in and then just go up, but it was tethered. It wasn't going anywhere, it was there. So that's what we do first. The first thing we do is we untether ourselves from the ground, or whatever that thing is that is holding us tight. We untether ourselves. And of course, what happens is we start to float. And the floating is magnificent, but it's not going very high. But you're untethered. This is the most important part, that you've actually decided to let go. Now we're floating, and we're right there, and we have a different view. We're higher, we're looking down, we're watching everything. We have a greater view, not just on everything around us, but our own selves as we function in the world. How are we in the world? And then, of course, we throw over those sandbags. 1, 2, little gingerly at first, because you don't know how fast you're going to go up. One little sandbag goes, ooh, that's an interesting look. Another one, ooh, that's even better. And as you throw the sandbags off, so you begin to rise higher. And if those sandbags are your beliefs, behaviors, and burdens, you are now rising up beyond the circumstance that you have seen for yourself. Because those are our sandbags. Those are the things that are holding us down. That's what we have to let go of. So when we get this invitation to rise up above our current circumstance, we look around and go, oh, things aren't so bad. Why do I need to do the work? Well, because we're evolutionary, we evolve, we're people. And no matter where we are, there's always another place to move to. Whether you're cycling up in intentions, when you're setting goals, when you just want something more. No matter where you go, when you've reached where you think you want to be, guess what? There's more. There's always more. Dr. Ernest Holmes used to say, stay open at the top. Right? Open at the top, not just to move up there, but to allow the divine ideas of what and who you can be to flood in. So you're open at the top allows you to move. It also allows you to receive. So as we let go of those sandbags, we get to rise above it. And Dr. Holmes says this. He says, we constantly discard old ideas and take on new and better ones. The mind gives us no rest. The intuition draws us upward. So that intuition part, it's already all within us. This is what we've got to understand. We don't have to go grappling on the outside to get, to make this happen. It's all already within, waiting for its opportunity to reveal it as your next evolution. Your work is to be willing to let go. Be willing to let go. Be willing to rise up. So, of course, I love animated movies. So what was the movie I was watching when I was thinking about this talk? Up. Of course I was watching Up. It's one of the cutest movies ever. And in that movie, I could have filled this whole talk just with quotes from that movie, because every single one of them has everything we want to know in it. That's what I love about those Disney movies. There's always something for the adults, because you got to have another line going for the adults that the kids don't understand yet, but you got to have it, because otherwise, who's going to take the kids? You got to have something for the adults. And there's always so much beautiful philosophy in them as well. And in fact, one of my favorite statements is this. The young boy says this: with my Wilderness Explorer GPS, we will never be lost. Yeah, with my Wilderness Explorer, because he's in that little scout uniform, right? And he's wanting to walk the old man across the road. Yeah, the old guy's like, I'm not interested. But when they do start traveling in that beautiful, with our Wilderness Explorer GPS, we will never be lost. What is our Wilderness Explorer GPS? It's God. It's the divine. And with that in our back pocket, in our center, cave of the heart, wherever you want to put God, I'm okay with it, wherever you want to put it, as long as it's not outside, make sure it's inside. That is our GPS. We lean in there. You want direction? You look at your map? Yeah. No, no, no. Just look at God. It could be your map, but it's God. That's where you want to go for your direction. You want to go inwards, you want to relax, you want to take your meditation, your contemplation, and let God lead the way. It's so much easier. You don't have to grapple. You don't have to go onto one of those apps and get misled. Yeah. I wish we had a God app. Anybody want to do a God app? You could make a fortune. I think we should get all our minds together in this community and create the God app. Where do you want to go? God says, I want to go there too. Wouldn't that be fun? I'd love that. So, and one of the other things that came out of the movie that I love, we will always be finding our way home to that greater expression of who we are. So when we lean into our GPS, we got to put God, protected, I don't know, we'll figure that one out, whatever the acronym is for that. When we lean in there, we are traveling to our highest and greatest good that is already present, already done. We are rising together towards a real unity with Spirit that is already complete and perfect. We're rising together because remember, when the tide rises, all the boats rise together. So we're all rising together to this unity with Spirit that's already complete and perfect. And in that place of doing that, we create a world that works for everyone. So therein lies one of the greatest things we can lean into, is to know that when we are doing our own work, when we are what might appear to be selfish because we are looking out for where we want to go next and making sure that we are raising our vibration, that we're doing it for the world as well, because we all rise together. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't be doing good out in the world. Don't get me wrong. We volunteer. We do all of those wonderful things. But remember that the work that we do inward will go out into the world as well. So we don't have to feel like we're just being selfish, because that selfishness, that self-care is extremely important to create a world that works for everyone. Plotinus said, I am trying to make what is most divine in me rise up to what is divine in the universe. I'm trying to make what is most divine in me rise up to what is divine in the universe. There is our work. What is most divine in us, waiting, is dying to be our next great evolution of who we are. So, as we come to this point in the year, as we begin, and we have let go of last year, and we're willing to step forward into this year, into a place of rise up, we can also step forward with a clean slate. We want to step forward with a clean slate. At least not quite so muddy. We want an opportunity to write a new way of being in the world. And so what I like to do on this day of the year is to begin with what we do is our white stone ritual. So the white stone ritual, and I'm going to read some of this just because I don't remember all of the details. I know that surprises you guys, but I don't. So what we get to do with the white stone ritual is we actually get to claim a new way of being in the world. So the white stone is an ancient ritual, and during the time of Jesus, when someone served time in prison or in bondage of any kind, they were given a white stone when they were released. The stone signified that you had done your time, and you were now free to go and be and do anything you choose. For us, the white stone represents a new beginning, a clean slate, a story that is unwritten, free from anything from the past, and filled with potential of the future. I just love that. free of anything from the past and filled with potential of the future. There is a reference to the white stone in the Bible. In Revelations, it is written, "And I will give a white stone, and on the white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it." It was believed that when the people had overcome their present circumstances and made their connection with the divine, then they received a new name. And the name was given to them directly by God. No one else intervened. No one else was even aware of this new name. And then that new name or word of intention was written on a white stone. It was a new nature, a new way of being, a new way of revealing their inner truth. When people had laid down their past and were ready to step into the potential of the future, they got their stone. We will all get our stone today. But before we do that, I'm going to invite you to take a quiet trip in meditation with me so that we can let the divine in to show us where we're going, what it is we're being called to do. So please, if you are ready and you would like to close your eyes or just soften your gaze, lean back in your chair and feel as comfortable as you can. We're going to go still in this moment and allow God to express through you and as you. Feel the presence of the divine and know your oneness with it. Feel that loving presence of spirit as it surrounds and supports you. And know right now that you are safe and secure. You are loved. You are supported. Know that you are encouraged by your fellow travelers as you journey through together on this new road. This white stone is a promise of a new life, and you can see it as a symbol of who you have become and of who you are becoming, or of who you would like to become. It is a symbol of a clean slate. Whatever has gone on in the past, we let it go. This is a moment in which you are now free. Free to step forward into the unknown, free to write that which is yet unwritten. So we gently begin to reflect on a new word or a new name. Let it come easily. No trying. Don't try and make it happen. Let a word come to you that marks your new beginning. Perhaps it's just a new idea or a new quality that Spirit is pressing out through you. So I invite you to set aside the mental knowing and let the divine Spirit within you come through. Give yourself permission to know that you have a new idea, a new quality, or even a new name for your life, for your experience as you move forward. What will your life be called from this moment? And so as you are guided by Spirit, and I do invite you to trust this guidance, as it gives to you in this sacred place, in this moment of truth, an insight into your divine purpose, an insight into your holy essence. And so in this place, the secret place of the Most High, I invite you to allow yourself to hear your new name that God has for you. And as that word or name becomes clear, just allow yourself to lean in even deeper into that feeling of being. Feel into your essence, your beauty, your magnificence. And if that name has come to you, just stay quiet and allow yourself to ask for a deeper understanding. To ask if there are any steps to take. And in this moment, allow yourself to simply open to Spirit to say, God in me reveals my true essence. God in me reveals my next step. God in me lives a joyous, peaceful, fulfilling life. And now I invite you to gently bring your hands together in front of you and imagine yourself holding a beautiful white stone. You can cradle it in your hands. Feel it there. What does it feel like? Is it rough? Is it smooth? Is it weighty? How big is it? Take that stone and move it around in your hands and feel the warmth and the love that is residing in there, that is going to be ready to bring forth to you your perfect, wonderful new name or intention or purpose for your life. And now gently with your mind's eye, look down at the stone. And as you are looking at it, you start to see a golden light coming from the stone as it etches onto it your new name. And as this beautiful golden etch is being created, so the light within the stone is shining through. And as you look at it and you look down, there is a smile that comes to you, a warmth coming from the stone as you look down and read that name. That is the new name that God has given your life as you move forward, a new experience and a new way of being. So a thankfulness begins to flow over us as we see this new word etched and shining from the stone. And along with it comes the power and guidance to achieve all that we desire. We are on this path to gaining greater insights and awareness and mark a new beginning. It is Spirit's great pleasure to give you this kingdom. So accept this consciousness in ever-increasing good in your life. I invite you to carry this white stone in your heart as a reminder of that promise. So very gently, let's bring our awareness back into the room with grateful hearts, minds, for all that Spirit has shared with us today. Take a deep breath in. Open your eyes. And don't let go of that stone. Oh, and so that we are here in the physical world, in the physical being, I have for all of you a basket that is up there filled with white stones. And I invite you on the way to take a white stone. It's a size that can slip in your pocket. The big one you keep in your heart, you can take this one and slip it in your pocket. And I have also got there a couple of permanent markers if you wish to write your name on the one side of the stone. Please don't leave without taking one with you. Carry it with you. Carry it as a reminder. Because sometimes the one in the heart tends to fade, but if we can touch it physically, we can remind ourselves of that wonderment, of the newness, of the new beginning that has been promised to us by the divine. Oh, and so the call to action for this week is to use your new name, to use it in the world as you walk, to know it that this is your beingness. You don't need to go changing your name on your paperwork. No. We're not going to be doing that. It's a lot of work to change all those credit cards. That's not what we're going to be doing. But use the essence of your name as you walk through the world and allow yourself to rise up and see and feel the newness of all that is around you. Because it's going to, that gold light that you just etched cannot help but be known on the outside world. So I leave you with this today. This is from Joyce Rupp, from her book Out of the Ordinary. I arise with amazement at the presence of the Spirit. I arise with gratitude for life. I arise with hope that all shall be well. I arise with courage to meet whatever difficulty. I arise with conviction to do what is life-giving. I rise with eyes ever alert for beauty. I rise with compassion for the hurting ones in the cosmos. I rise with eagerness to write with depth and quality. And I arise with a sense of kinship with all whom I love. So I rise up. Okay, let's take this to prayer. So it is with so much gratitude that I come to this point in the service, recognizing and knowing that all that we have is God-given and that we can have as much as we are willing to say yes to. We can rise up into that realm of more receiving, more circulating, more giving, more loving, more beauty, more wisdom, more of everything. For there is limitless potential. There's limitless possibilities, and Spirit has already said yes. Yes, my beloveds, yes. It is by your breath that is your birthright that you receive. There are no limitations. There's no bias or judgment. It is a free pouring forth of God's goodness right here, right now. And so I know for each one of us as we walk our path that we open our hearts and our minds even wider to receive all of this goodness, to ride that balloon higher and higher into the wonderment that is the divine's ideal for who we are and for what we can be and how we can have our experience. And I call it good. I call it grand. Actually, I call it magnificent. And so I just release this prayer knowing that it is so, that Spirit has said yes, that it is already done. And so let's claim it together as we say, and so it is. Yes. Thank you.